It was not until she was forced by her adopted son to sign a document severing their relationship that the woman finally realized the child she had raised as if he were her own son was actually a heartless beast without any conscience. The adopted son smugly announced that he was about to become the heir to the richest company, not knowing that he had already completely offended the richest person, because his adoptive mother was none other than the retired billionaire Zinnia. Zinnia looked at the cold and indifferent man and could not help but recall the scene of when she first met him. That day, she saw a couple throw a child into the river. Zinnia stepped into the freezing river without hesitation and rescued the child. Zinnia believed that this child was her deceased son who had returned to her side. It turned out that 6 years earlier, Zinnia's family of 3 was involved in a tragic car accident. This disaster not only took the lives of her husband and son, but also left Zinnia disabled. The loss of her loved ones plunged Zinnia into despair. She had no heart to manage the company and handed it over to her assistant, Daniel. She spent her days sitting by the river, mourning her family. It was then that she happened to encounter the abandoned child and decided to adopt him and named him Louis. Zinnia did not want to return to the company. She devoted herself completely to taking care of Louis, raising him as if he were her biological child. However, one day Louis suddenly collapsed. The doctor said he suffered from congenital leukemia. Only then did Zinnia understand why Louis's parents had abandoned him. The doctor said that someone had to donate bone marrow to Louis immediately for him to survive. Coincidentally, Zinnia was a match for Louis. She did not hesitate at all and insisted on donating to Louis. But Daniel hurried to stop her, because Zinnia's leg had already been injured before. Donating bone marrow would cause her to have difficulty walking in the future, and she would likely need a wheelchair for the rest of her life. Daniel believed that for a child with no blood relation, there was absolutely no need to make such a sacrifice. But Zinnia firmly insisted on donating her bone marrow to Louis. From that point on, her body became even weaker, yet Louis knew nothing about it. Afterward, Zinnia hid her identity and sold vegetables at the market to make a living, hoping to toughen Louis's will through hardship. Louis indeed grew up to be outstanding. He not only became the CEO of the group, but was also about to marry a wealthy young lady named Vivian. Zinnia felt extremely proud of Louis, so she instructed Daniel that at Louis's wedding, the Minos group should be handed over to him. Daniel then sent someone to inform Louis in advance. Louis was overjoyed when he heard the news. However, this news was also seen by a couple. That couple was none other than Louis's biological parents who had abandoned him years ago. They were unwilling to pay for the child's medical treatment, so they threw him into the river, intending to drown him. Now that they saw Louis had become successful, they hurried to claim him back as their son in order to obtain all of his wealth. When his biological parents found Louis, he did not believe the couple, because Zinnia had treated him far too well. He had never thought that he was not her biological child. However, his parents came fully prepared. They presented